What if one man never existed? No Abraham, no Judaism, no Christianity, no Islam. Three of the world's largest religions, just gone. 3,000 years of belief, completely rewritten. Wars, empires, and entire philosophies, all evolving in a radically different way. Today, we read diving into one of history's greatest what-ifs. What would our world look like in 2025 if Abraham had never been born? In our timeline, Abraham is the very root of the great monotheistic tree. He was the first to declare that one single God ruled over everything. From his lineage came the Hebrews, and from them, Christianity blossomed. Centuries later, Islam emerged from the same tradition. That single, powerful belief that one God governs the universe fundamentally changed how billions of people perceive life, morality, and their own destiny. But without Abraham, that idea never gets off the ground. Humanity's gods remain numerous. Every city, every empire, continues to speak its own unique divine language. In this alternate world, polytheism never fades away. Egyptian priests continue to honor Ra and Isis. Greek philosophers debate freely in open-air temples. The Romans, never Christianized, ruled their vast empire through a policy of tolerance, not forced conversion. And think about this. The Library of Alexandria, that legendary lighthouse of ancient knowledge, might have survived. Imagine a world with no mass burning of heretical books, no so-called Dark Age fueled by superstition. Rome would evolve into a federation of many faiths, where its brilliant scholars could merge reason and ritual without conflict. Science itself could have been seen as sacred, not forbidden. Now let's turn to the Middle East. Without Abraham, something truly remarkable unfolds. No prophets, no crusades, no holy land soaked in centuries of bloodshed. Instead, the ancient traditions of Babylon, Persia, and Egypt would blend together peacefully. Zoroastrianism, with its concept of moral dualism, could have become a widely shared philosophy, not a religion spread by conquest. Imagine the magnificent temples of Babylon standing alongside Greek academies. Jerusalem could have become a celebrated city of scholars, not a battleground for competing faiths. Meanwhile, far to the east, China's dynasties would rise higher than ever before. Without the disruption of Abrahamic crusades or invasions from the West, the Silk Road would thrive for millennia. Confucian order, Taoist harmony, and Buddhist compassion would guide a civilization that prized logic and balance above all else. Innovations like printing, gunpowder, and paper would spread purely through trade, not as spoils of war. And in India, the Hindu and Buddhist kingdoms would flourish side by side, undisturbed. Nalanda University could have become the undisputed global capital of knowledge. Picture this: astronomers mapping the stars, surgeons perfecting their craft, and philosophers debating the nature of the soul, all without the ever-present fear of being accused of blasphemy. Now let's look at Africa, where the story takes an even brighter turn. Without the driving forces of Christian colonization or Islamic conquest, great kingdoms like Mali, Kush, and Aksum would likely have never fallen. Trade would flow freely between Africa, Europe, and Asia. There would be no Atlantic slave trade, no trans-Saharan routes justified by religious doctrine. Slavery would still exist, as it did in most ancient societies, but it would be a consequence of war, not a system based on race. Africa would remain wealthy, respected, and whole. In this world, the age of exploration would start much earlier, and it would be a peaceful affair. Without Europe being bogged down in centuries of religious wars, its focus would shift outward. Chinese fleets might have reached the Americas as early as 1200 CE. Roman sailors would chart the coasts of Africa, and Indian merchants could cross the vast Pacific. When these different civilizations met, they would exchange ideas and goods, not enslave each other. They'd trade mathematics for maize, philosophy for gold. the Americas would evolve into vibrant, hybrid civilizations. Imagine magnificent temples standing beside towering pyramids and ancient scrolls being studied alongside feathered artworks. So let's fast forward. Welcome to 2025, in a world where Abraham never existed. Europe remains largely Greco-Roman, a hub of art, science, and pluralistic thought. The Middle East is a fusion of Persian and Babylonian cultures, celebrated as a center of logic and tolerance. China and India lead the world in science and technology. Africa is a continental superpower, confident, unified, and never colonized. Globalization is born from a shared sense of curiosity, not from the blade of conquest. Humanity never divided itself over prophets or holy books. Would this world be perfect? Of course not. Human ambition, greed, and the potential for war would still exist. But perhaps there would have been fewer crusades, fewer people in chains, fewer reasons to hate. Without Abraham, humanity might not have learned to worship one God. But just maybe, we would have learned to see the divine in each other. Thanks for joining us on this journey through an alternate history. If you enjoyed this thought experiment, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next video. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below.